Hello students, welcome to the next video on Analog Electronics 1. Myself Gujjar Mittal Roy in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in GEMTech Greater Noida. In previous videos we have covered the thyristor layer devices, thyristor family devices which are SCR, TRIAC, DIAC, and now in this video we will be focusing on another type of device which is another type of semiconductor device. It is a unijunction device and that is why it is called UJT. UJT stands for unijunction transistor. So we have talked about diodes, transistors, thyristors, and this is another semiconductor device which is a single junction device, and that is why it is called unijunction transistor. And it is called unijunction because it has got only one junction. But why is it called transistor? It is called so because it offers transfer of resistance across the channel. So it has got N-type semiconductor substrate across which there are two terminals, base 1 and base 2, in vertically opposite directions, and there is one more terminal which is called emitter terminal, and at which the P-type semiconductor is diffused in such a way that a PN junction is formed. So since it has got three terminals, and that is why it is called as a transistor, and it also offers transfer of resistor. So wherever the emitter terminal is connected to this N-type substrate, the resistance of this channel is divided in RB1 and RB2, where RB1 is a variable resistance with respect to RB2. So figure A shows the construction, B shows its symbol, and C shows its electrical equivalent circuit. Okay, so the total resistance of this device is given by RB, which is equal to RB1 plus RB2. Now this is the circuit diagram, equivalent circuit diagram of UJT for its analysis. The PN junction is connected to a terminal or node X, which divides the entire channel resistance in RB1 and RB2, where RB1 is a variable resistance with respect to RB2, and to this channel terminals B1 and B2 forward bias is applied to B1 with respect to B2, means it is an N-type device, so negative terminal is of the battery VBB is connected to base 1, whereas the positive terminal of the battery is connected to base 2. Now the PN junction is also applied a forward bias, that the VEE is connected at the anode terminals in such a way that the positive terminal of the battery is connected to the anode, due to which current flows, which is given as IG. Now this is the VI characteristic curve of UJT. It shows that until here basically the first thing which we need to consider is that the current is taken at x-axis and voltage is taken at y-axis. It is because the voltage is depending on current IV. Now if the VE voltage, until it reaches its maximum voltage VP, the device remains in its cutoff region and almost current is 0. The value of the maximum voltage at which the device gives a sufficient magnitude of current is called as the IP, peak current. So IP is the peak current, represents the corresponding current to the peak voltage VP. Now if we increase further, IP increases, the current IP increases further, and for that the voltage VE decreases up to a certain magnitude, and after that it increases further. So the minimum value of current is called as the valley current, at which the voltage is minimum. So the peak current corresponds to peak voltage, and IV is the valley current. It corresponds to minimum voltage of VE. So it is called the negative resistance region, in which if the voltage decreases, the current increases. This is called the negative resistance. The fact is that the doping and the other parameters are so arranged that the current increases further even if the voltage decreases. So this is all we have discussed. Now there is an intrinsic standoff ratio eta, and which varies from 0.5 to 0.8. It is given as RB1 upon RB1 plus RB2. Now we have UJT ratings: maximum peak emitter current, maximum reverse emitter voltage, maximum interbase voltage, and then emitter leakage current. So these are all parameters of UJT which we should consider for its understanding. Now it is a very popular device, and it is mainly used for high-speed switching. So based on that, there are few applications of UJT, and these are that it is used to trigger SCRs and triacs. It is used in non-sinusoidal oscillators. It is used in phase control and timing circuits. It is used in sawtooth generators, and it is used in oscillator circuit designs. So as we said that it is used in sawtooth generator or oscillator design, so we are going to discuss sawtooth generator designed by using UJT, and this is called as the UJT relaxation oscillator. So figure shows the simple schematic of a UJT relaxation oscillator having a UJT to which external resistance connected at base terminal 1, and the output voltage is taken across this. Along with that, the bias VBB is applied in such a way that an RC network is connected to it. The capacitor is connected to the emitter terminal, and this emitter is also connected to a resistor as shown in figure. Now when the voltage is applied to the capacitor, initially the current flows through VBB and the capacitor starts charging. As soon as it reaches its peak value, the device, which is UJT, becomes on and offers minimum resistance, and the conduction starts, current flows, which is called the charging. Now as soon as the capacitor is fully charged, now the potential of the capacitor becomes higher with respect to the potential of the UJT, and now the capacitor starts discharging through UJT, and this discharging goes up to a minimum value until the UJT becomes turned off. So for the time it becomes turned off, the capacitor discharges and the capacitor starts charging again until the transistor becomes on. So for the timing of charging and discharging depends on the transistor turn off and turn on voltages, and also on the time constants RC. So the charging time constant is R1C, whereas discharging time constant is RB1 plus R2 into C. So if we have charging and discharging in continuation, we get a sawtooth voltage as shown in figure, and with that we get the values of T1 and T2, and if we sum up them and take a reciprocal, we get the frequency. Thank you so much.